COVID-19, the teen vaping epidemic worried many parents, but this morning there's even more reason to talk to your children about the dangers of e-cigarettes.
WPTV News Channel 5's Tori Dunnan has more on a study that says vapers are more likely to get COVID-19.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, but you got to remember before the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a vaping epidemic in this country.
Dr. Jose Diolazabal is a pulmonologist at Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center. Disturbing is a word of choice to describe a new study from Stanford University about young people who vape and COVID.
It's really a disturbing article with some disturbing data.
Researchers looked at the connections between COVID-19 and vaping in young people ages 13 to 24.
I have read reports of kids getting admitted with vaping related conditions and that later turned out to be COVID-19 positive. And that's why this data is really scary.
The study found you're between 5 and 7 times more likely to be infected with COVID-19 as a young person who vapes.
It's a pretty significant high increased risk than if you hadn't used any electronic cigarette. We do know that the vaping damages the lungs. So by inflaming the lungs, it does make you more susceptible to viral infections.
Dr. Diolazabal says there's more to it.
With vaping, kids tend to share it. We know that this virus is spread through contact with your hands and mouth and nose. You can imagine that's a pretty easy way, especially if you're sharing a vaping cigarette.
The information causing even more fear for parents of teenagers.
I think that there aren't any moms that like their kids vaping already.
Mom of 3, Melody Rodriguez, is involved in the social media mom groups.
From talking to some other moms, they're having a really hard time keeping their teenagers social distancing. So to add to that vaping, which is something that you don't do with your mask on.
Doctors warn vaping could make you even more of a carrier, putting others at risk.
If you're more likely to get COVID-19 infection if you're vaping, then by definition, you're more likely to spread it.
Tori Dunnan, WPTV News Channel 5.